All right, so I guess you guys haven't been hearing what I've been saying, so I'll say it again. The crude oil report is about to come out any second. These horizontal lines on the counterpunch chart on the right are the lines marking last week's reaction. So coincidentally, we are trading right in the middle of that reaction now, and there's the report. So we're going to mark the new reaction. I'll just delete these. The chart on the lower left is your spotlight master sweet chart, the 8-tick momentum bar, and the one on the upper left is your unleaded gas with the 20 momentum bar. And of course, the 377 tick on the right is the one I'll be trading. So the report came out, definitely reacting to the upside. We're going to go ahead and mark the lower side of the range here, although the 50 moving average is doing a pretty good job of marking it for us. And then this could be the end of the reaction. Let's see if it comes up and retests it. So far, we'll just mark it here. So remember, we're going to wait 2 minutes and then we'll look for trades. So right in there. So pretty tight range, about a 50 tick range, 41 to 91. And now it's coming up to test the upper end of the range. All right, good. Glad you guys can hear me. Please don't forget to hit the like button. That's a possible long trade. We'll keep an eye on it. That would be long at 67.92. We still got to wait another 35 seconds. A lot could happen. That set up on the upper, just outside the reaction range. And if you notice, when we first logged in, the market was trading right in the middle of last week's range. It's kind of uncanny how that happened. Now we have a short. So there's two possibilities here, a short or a long. The long is not canceled. The long is still valid. The short has canceled. So the long, there's a new long. That would be the trade. The new one, long at 67.92. So 67.92, and that's targeting 13, 68.13 and 68.20. And the stop is at 73. So it's got to fight through the upper end of the reactions range. It looks like a bullish consolidation, but it hasn't poked through yet. 68.13, target 2. Target 1, 68.05, is our money management level. If it gets to that point, we move our stop to break even. It's not the largest trade, but it's not terribly small either. 21 cents to our second target objective. We're going to ignore that short because we have entered the chop zone. And we're not going to go short against the rising 50 moving average when we're in the chop zone. The strategy's smart enough to know that. That's why I printed a gray trade, and the long trade is not canceled yet. You'd think it would have from the original trade, but with the new trade, it has not canceled yet. Has to close below the line one more time, and then it will cancel. So the long trade is still valid. It looks like a lot of bars, but you had the one trade that canceled, but the new trade is not. Now, if this bar closes below the line, then it will cancel. It looks like it's going to, but you never know. There, it has canceled. Make sure the long trade is canceled. We will now look for the next trade, whatever that may be. And there it is. It's a short at 5.9. 5.9 is the next trade. It's a much larger trade. Maybe the failure to get higher pushes this lower. We're right back in the middle of the range. It's a 37-cent trade. The stop is at 91. If that triggers in, and it's targeting 67.22. It's going to test the lows of the day, perhaps. Definitely a down day. Money management on that trade is target 1. It gets to 67.35. That trade did trigger in. So let's see if we can get to the low of the range, and we need to get to 35 to be able to move our stops to break even. Spotlight Master Suite has already kind of triggered in and it's done its thing. Same with unleaded gas. Let's see if it can continue lower. Crude oil is down about 1.5%. It was down 2%, so it's going to have to test the lows of the day, or at least hopefully it does, and then gets us to our target objectives. So let's see if the failure to get higher leads to a strong move lower. So you could see why I put the borders, the lines on to mark the reaction of the inventory report, because they tend to act as support and resistance levels. So far it has not been able to get back down to 67.41. Yep. Could get a stop and reverse. Hasn't happened yet. Crap, it's moving right back up into the middle again. Let's see if these lines offer some resistance for us, or if it's going to test those highs again. I mean, we're right in the middle of the range. That is a stop and reverse, unfortunately, at 63. Definitely going to move the stop up to 63 on this short trade. And then perhaps get long.
Order filled.
Yeah, so unfortunately we're out of the short trade, and we can get long at 63. You could even, I got out of the trade before getting long, and you could actually get long at 66, or 64, get it off that 50 moving average. I'm still flat on the long trade.
Order rejected.
So the stop on the long trade is at 42. It's targeting 87. Now another short. It's real messy. And actually that short should be at 43, but it did go through and hitting the range. So that was an unfortunate stop and reverse. That was just ill-timed and unfortunate. If you got long, I apologize for that, but it's got to follow the setups. It's definitely short now. Would have been better staying with the original short, obviously. So this one is targeting 67.13, and the stop is at 72. Not easy the way this transpired. So that original trade, it would have hit its money management, but that's not the trade anymore. Now we're trying to get to 67.24 and then move our stop to break even. And it did break through the range of the reaction and then now trading right back up into the middle again. So pretty difficult session thus far, but let's see if it'll push lower here. Looking like Spotlight performed a lot better, was one and done. So you can see the influence that the reaction range has on the price action. Hate to say it, but that's another stop and reverse. So you can see this is just a range bound sloppy market. Stop should move to 61 on this short trade. You have to decide if you want to take another trade at that point. If you do, you're targeting the upper end of the range. It would be targeting 92 and the stop at 29. Looks like it did just stop and reverse. Bummer. So if you're taking one more trade, that's going to now the long side, 67.92, and the stop is at 29. So again, maybe the failure to get lower will push this higher. It did break through and then just could not follow through. This is targeting 92. Rough session. Now it has to get to 67.80 for break even. And you could just see by that chart formation how unfriendly this price action has been and continues to be. Spotlight definitely handled this better today. So currently in The white trade. Not much to do. Just let this play out. The 70-cent level is resistance. Let's see if it could punch through. Right back in the middle of the range. See if it'll test the upper end. That's what we need to see. It looks like it wants to. Now we got to get through the 75-cent level. That's always a tough one. So pushing through that so far pretty easily. Not quite getting to our money management level. 3 more ticks. We can move our stop. And I would probably recommend moving the stop to 59, not to 62, unless it can get partway up past 80 towards our second target. Actually, it looks like it's going to start trailing the signal line. The signal line, yeah, that would have it at 59 regardless, but it did not yet get to 80. It only got to 78, 2 ticks shy. looks like if this closes up at 80 or above, the stop would move to 62. You can see the signal line's already at 64. So that's going to mitigate the stop movement a bit, but we haven't gotten to 80 yet. Let's see if resistance becomes support here. So far, we're right back in the middle of the range again. Well, you could see it. If this trade forms, the entry's at 57, the stop and reverse moves to 54. That'll be the end. Let's see if we can stay in this trade, but you have to be ready to move your stop to 54 if that setup occurs. No fighting City Hall here. The price action's in charge. Not a setup yet. So finding support at that 50 moving average, that's a good sign. Let's see if we can test these swing highs and at least punch through to our money management level. You can see it fighting through the 75 again, trying to. Our stop is still at the original location, 67.29. Lots of cross currents, Roger. We got non-farm payroll in 2 days. We've already got a market that's been down over 2%. It could be bottoming out here, and bottoms are always going to give you an extended consolidation and choppiness. So it's showing signs that the lows of the day might be in already. Maybe it just tested them again. I don't know. It did try to punch through support, failed to follow through. So it could set up a move higher, and we're in the long trade. And yeah, price action's kind of crappy. But all we can do is follow the trade setups here. So we're not far off from our money management level. If we could punch through and make a new swing high, you can see it right on that 75 number. Always a sticky number. Got to work its way through it. 67.75. It got to 7.6 on these last two bars. Now it's sitting below it again. See it bumping up on that 75. Let's see if it can get the energy to push through and stab through to 80. First objective is to get to risk-free, and that stop, if it does do that, would move to 64. Right below the 200 moving average. But it hasn't gotten there yet, so it kind of bothers me that it's making a higher swing low here at the 75 and not able to get through. May end up with another stop and reverse to deal with. It's what you get with messy price action. Look at us right in the very center of the range again. Could put a stop and reverse at 54. Yeah, that'll go to 54. So move your stop to 54. Hopefully it doesn't hit it. You can get short if you want. This will be the last trade. That's enough of a mess for me. If it triggers in, hopefully it doesn't. It could still go up. This trade will probably win, considering how messy the other ones were. If it does hit 54, what was that, 55, I think?
Order filled.
So that one stopped out too. Bummer. If you're in this short trade, you're targeting 67.36 and the stop is at 78. But this market doesn't want to cooperate at this point. They don't all win. Can't win them all. Just missed money management by 2 ticks on that long trade. The short trade would have hit money management, except for we got bumped out of it with this long here. Just messy all around and still right in the middle of the range here. May come down and test the lows again, but that's it for me, guys. It is what it is. Sorry it was such a mess. It was pretty bad. I mean, it's par for the course. You're always going to get the worst session at some point. It's going to happen. I don't care what you trade, how you trade it. The worst session exists, and it happens when it happens. So there you go. That's what a losing session looks like. Anyway, guys, everyone have a wonderful day. Don't forget, I will be here Monday. John will not be here tomorrow. Yeah, tough one. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your day and rest of your week, and I will see you next time.